Hello, everybody, and welcome to the 4.1 Meta Roundup podcast. I'm your host, Gojo Creations, and today we're going to be talking about not only 4.0, as well as 4.1's meta for Genius Invocation TCG. And of course, I have some lovely guests for me today. Let's go from the top. Why don't you introduce yourself, the gun, your profile picture?
Heard my voice around somewhere, whether it's on our videos or maybe on one of our streams. Hello.
I'm
Next in line.
Summations. You might see me in the server constantly, mostly because I'm at the top. I usually frequent the bar table and is the current mediator for the Daydream Library and Cafe.
Next in line.
Hello everybody, I am the 4.1 Passionals voice and the Chicken Quicken enjoyer. It's wrapped.
Next up. Doran.
This is Rin. I am a caster for GITCG and Cat's Tail Gathering. You've probably seen me at some point if you've been watching tournaments.
Yep. And then I am the production head. I do production things and I never sleep. But anyway, that's not important. So, how are we all doing today?
I'm doing fine, Kojo. Thank you for asking. Well, I haven't eaten the meal yet since I just woke up.
You can get something to eat. It's okay. This is chill time. It's not too serious. But we would definitely want to get onto the new stuff. But we do have to cover, as per standard, cover what last meta was like. And why don't we get started on the cards, which well, maybe there might not be much to talk about, right, guys?
Yeah.
Okay, but
Yes,
Chi-Chi.
Chi-Chi is...
Okay, like aside from Chi-Chi funny, haha, there has like legitimately been some decks that try to use her.
That's what I'm talking about. I feel like there's actually some potential in Chi-Chi, and it's maybe like we haven't fully seen it yet.
Yeah.
My opinion, Chi-Chi is like a healing and reviving gimmick.
I think if we put aside everything else, just like ignore the burst, Chi-Chi has a cryo summon skill, which makes her somewhat useful at base, just like as cryo-official, kind of. You can do stuff with her. Like she can do off-field reactions, and cryo reactions are pretty good.
Yeah, I've seen her being tried in superconduct decks, and then there's the 4 summons thingy.
The 4 summons thing.
Yeah,
I think
Chi-Chi
actually
bait.
the most interesting Chi-Chi deck I remember seeing was early on in 4.0, people were still kind of messing around. There was a Chi-Chi fridge deck with Raiden and Nahida that did pretty well from what I remember.
I remember, yeah, I remember that. I've had one of my friends actually play it, and I think they got a 3-2. It was a very close matchup against Bin for the 4-1, but unlucky Bin.
Of course.
But other than that, the deck is like decent, and there is something to it because you can apply Dendro and Cryo at the same time, and then try to get the reactions off.
Yeah, and there's also Nahida Siege, which like combined with Raiden and Chi-Chi Summon, it's like guaranteed 2 piercing on everyone, which is like it's pretty solid.
Yeah.
It's like it's not the strongest thing in the world, but it does have a solid niche.
My experience with Chi-Chi is stall revival memes.
Yeah, that's definitely true. It's mostly the case of Chi-Chi being a sort of revival stall. I think her talent card is probably one of the more interesting ones, especially because it's an hour second 5-cost talent card. But otherwise, I think it'll take some time for her to find a place. But she's still something neat nonetheless, unlike the other two. Which any words about these two or none at all? I won't blame you.
I got no comment. I think like
Albedo, haven't seen Albedo really.
Geosummons are just so bad because they can't apply element. It's like it's terrible.
Yeah.
Bad. I think like the plunging attack thing might have some weird gimmick, but like overall not very useful.
Yeah, it's funny like the main game, you know how you have the two Animo 2 Geo comp for Xiao plus Albedo. Everyone's like, oh, it'll work so good. Well, in TCG, if you don't have any form of damage boosting like reactions, you're kinda screwed.
Yeah, the thing about boosting plunging attacks is that your normal attacks are just too physical.
Yeah.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
like unless you're writing a character with infusion like Hu Tao or Ayato, you can't. The minus dice reduction isn't worth sacrificing reactions, and like if you want to do reaction with those characters and Albedo for the dice reduction, like you also need to run a third character, and that makes your team Rainbow, which like sacrifices Wovens and Resonances, which isn't very good.
Yeah.
And like if you want reduced normal attacks, go run NSC or MMR.
Yeah. It was really
Or Ito.
unfortunate. Yeah, sure. Ito, the one comp, Raiden Albedo Ito, that was one that popped out. It was really sad for me because I always check the statistics for each patch, and Albedo and Lisa immediately fell off a cliff as soon as the first week went by, and Chi-Chi was playing
Man,
all
Lisa-
like once.
Honestly,
Lisa
like
is
not
in
as
such a weird spot because she wants the game to go for longer in order to do more damage. There's just better option for that type of stuff. I guess she just falls
okay.
because of
Look,
the same problem as Sino.
I'm gonna make the same argument for from when I talked about Eula, right? Technically, Lisa has a 1 energy Chong burst with an asterisk.
Yeah, with the asterisk, true.
Yeah, but she just wants the game to go for long, and that doesn't work well for her.
Yeah, like especially as an Electro unit. Electro units
Exactly.
really like aggressive teams like Quicken and SC, which like try to just turbo your opponent before that you get turboed yourself. But with Lisa, you have to kind of build your stacks before you consume them to get maximum value, and it just doesn't really work.
Maybe in a stall deck.
It has been tried.
Yeah,
I
it
have
has been
tried a
tried.
stall deck.
Yeah.
It's just that it's not good enough because there's actually better stall option
No,
that
guys,
can deal more damage.
Lisa Eggs
Bin.
is the sauce.
Bin!
Let's go. Well, yeah, as someone who's played a lot of Lisa, mostly because I find her a very, very fun card. It's very hard to compete when you have an option like Pyrokek on the table, and will always be on the table unless they decide to nerf them, which I don't think they ever will. But you're just like you're light. You're so backloaded. Not to the extreme of other cards that have bad time keeping up the pace, but it's mostly like, why would you pick it? It's still a cool she's still a cool character nonetheless, but yeah, she's having her backloaded damage is not great. Moving on from those characters though, they existed. Yup, true. Action cards from last patch. Were any of these super effective in the 4.0 meta?
King Squire.
Squire Razor Sauce. I'm just saying.
This gave Kali Quicken a new FTK setup. It showed up in tournament a couple times, and then, well, Kali Quicken is Kali Quicken, and it disappeared.
I think like King Squire is quite good because like it's a 1 dice plus 1 essentially, so like it's just better Raven's bow, I suppose. And like there's also another niche where if you just really cringe off element dice, but you just happen to have 3 of it, it's like now you only need 2 aligned element to go cast your skill, which is like, you know, rather useful.
Yeah.
On top of that, like it also makes breakpoints a lot easier to manage because like now in Quicken especially, instead of doing 4 damage with aggravating field, you now do 5 obviously, and also on reaction with no aggravating you do 5, but if you do both you now do 6, which just like everything is within 1 shot range now. It makes it infinitely easier on your breakpoints to use it.
Yeah,
I mean, I don't think there's really many characters that can make use of this though, because
yeah, it's like I think Kole is the best option. Tainari can use it too as like another Quicken driver that's also a bow character.
Right about that, I actually heard that King's Squire became the final key card required for Inzaki to claim victory in the Prince Cup, Southeast Asia.
Yeah.
That was quite the surprise.
Yeah.
I haven't watched it, but like now that I'm hearing about this, I need to. That's
Was it his
Oh.
child deck?
Yeah, he won.
Whoa.
He won the game 4 with his child Yoimiya Bennett deck.
That is sauce. Okay, I definitely need to go watch it
Oh,
now.
no way, no, it's really free hash browns tech.
It's actually just free hash brown
It's
tech.
actually free, no way. What's it
But
called?
yeah. Also, like King Square combined with Unseen Razor, just like you cast your skill for essentially free, which it's like that's just sauce.
Yeah,
We'd love to see it.
Yeah, we, as much as we didn't get to see it a ton, like, you know, in terms of usage rate, because it's always like weapons are something that people may find a little adverse because they cost a lot and you really have to tune your deck around it. I think it was a really good card nonetheless, and you know, was one that actually could poke out and still has potential to poke out in the next meta. But in combination, and this is the universal buff for weapons, sheesh.
I mean, like Unseen Razor is sauce.
Note: Unseen Razor is actually 0.
Yeah, that's right. That is 0. Let's fix that.
Yeah, no, I think like what makes Unseen Razor really strong, especially in combination with the Sumira weapons, is that like it effectively just makes them, for the Squire weapons, like it just makes it so you get a 1-cost skill on your second limit, which is like amazing.
Yeah.
But also, if you combine it with Golden House, which these decks typically run, like your first skill is just the first time you equip, it's just a free +1 on your skill.
Yeah.
And on the second time, like you equip it, it's just I think it actually gives you +1 because Unseen Razor reduces by 2.
Yeah, it's reduces by 2, so you if you have Golden House, I think you effectively use
yeah,
0.
it's a free equip, right? So like,
I have not seen that much Golden House personally. I mean,
Yeah.
Rhythm of the Great Dream makes more sense for me, in my opinion.
Yeah, Golden House is
that's true.
insane very much. Yes.
Yeah. Yeah, the only thing about Golden House is just like deck space. You usually can run other cards better, and you know, these weapons costing 2 dice is not the biggest deal, so that's why it ends up getting out.
Yeah,
Yep.
that's true.
And
I
like,
don't know. Golden House just seems like a little too slow.
yeah,
I
and
mean,
also you have to recognize that support card space is like very limited.
Yeah, it
because
is.
in a,
Only 4 slots.
in a game you can only have 4 of them out in the field.
That's true.
And if Golden House is just sitting there, that's just, if you don't throw weapons, it's just a sitting duck.
Pretty
yeah,
much.
yeah, that's true.
Oops, I bottom deck my bell cries.
But,
That's a call.
oh no, totem bottom deck. Like, I guess I just lose.
Like, at that point, Catherine would be better in that slot.
Yeah, actually. Alright.
yeah, I can see it.
Moving on from
Remember
that,
when
we
Catherine
had.
cost 2?
What's up, there? What's up, Ren?
No, I was just like, remember when Catherine cost 2?
I know,
Oh
right?
my
Imagine.
Two same color dice, by the way, not
Yeah.
two any.
So broken.
That's like the dark days.
So silly. Everyone's like, oh my god, it's so broken. You get infinite fast swaps, guys. What do you mean it's bad?
Oh yeah, that era of TCG was fun.
It was
Having
fun. Like, we were so naive. There were so many things that like we thought would work and it just didn't.
See, you know what the scary part is that there's a lot of things that didn't work, but now it does work, because speaking of things that don't work...
Oh my god.
Oh my
Honestly,
God.
like, probably the biggest set of changes, but it, excluding the Ito, like, this literally only affected one deck, and that'd be Saramona Venti, aka Venti Z.
Well,
I think-
there's actually one more, but yeah, keep going.
I believe it has affected more than one deck, because we still just have not seen them yet, the decks that use more artifacts.
I
Yeah.
suppose.
I
Well-
have faith there's more than just Venti Z that uses
Yep.
a bunch of artifacts to try to gain an advantage over the opponent.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah,
just that we have not cooked enough to find them.
Yeah, I can see that we have definitely not cooked enough with these artifacts.
Yeah, definitely. So the two, yeah, but yeah, Sumi is right in that there is one deck that is the most standout, which is, Saramoto Venti, made by our wonderful TC staff, Kevin Z, which, 100% utilizes all artifacts out the wazoo, to just cheat out zero cost skills, which it's very fun. I tried it. I tried my own list as well this patch. It's actually very fun. But yeah, the only other deck that was able to cheat with artifacts was NEC. Nahida Lecture Charge can run the Dendro 2 cost artifact to start cheating her 5 cost.
Yeah, I do remember seeing that a few times.
Yeah.
I don't think it caught on as much as Venti Z though, in terms of popularity.
Yeah, with
Yeah,
NEC.
the thinking about elemental artifacts is that they share the same space as those absolutely busted cards like Tenacity of the Middle East, Gambler's Earrings, and sometimes even Lucky Dogs. Like, sometimes they just cannot compete with them and you just run Sumeru City instead.
Yup.
to
Yeah, that's true.
Get the
I think,
same
like,
ramp for
I think-
the exact same amount of price.
The thing about Saramoto Venti in particular, though, is just how often you're casting your skills. Like, you're just spamming those things nonstop, and like you also have Venti for the free swaps, which means you save 2 dice, which you use on the artifact, which saves you more dice. And it's like the feedback cycle, which is quite strong.
Yeah.
I think that in particular makes that deck incredibly suited for artifacts.
Yeah, exactly. In general, specifically Shimenawa's is definitely the card that I excuse me. Definitely the card that stands out to me the most, because skill spam, if you're a skill spammer plus if you want to equip talents too, like it's just it does so much for you. Like, imagine going into every round and your skill only costs 2. Like, that's great. Well, even less if you do other shenanigans, but that is besides the point.
I
But
think Shimon always is great in Saramoto Venti because like you run 2 of them and it's basically a universal -1 on your skill because like you're only casting your skills, whereas like the other elemental ones, it's attuned specifically for your element. Like that flexibility of Shimenawa's makes it really great in that deck.
Yeah, absolutely, and that's why it's thank God there's a limit of 2. But all these changes, all these cards, and yet this is the most substantial one.
I mean, I don't think it kills any like decks that would use it.
It's not about really killing any decks, but it definitely changes how many people end up even playing or even at all, as well as how safe plays are now in the meta.
No, you definitely still run 2 copies of this in just about any deck that needs a burst. Yeah, you still run it. You still run it. Like
I think
still run it at all.
Most decks will still choose to run it because 1 energy is like the equivalent of at least 2 to 3 dice, depending on what cards you're running. It's like it's a free star signs that also gives you a dice, which is really nice. And like you use that dice to swap off and whatever. It's super versatile. But what this change does is it makes killing characters a lot safer.
Yeah.
Before this, like every time you went to lethal character, there's the potential that they shove out a double Ito and just instantly reverse sweep you.
You get instantly clapped.
Right? Like, so there's a lot of situations where people would choose to delay a lethal for another turn, where the dice are more even, where like 2 extra dice doesn't matter as much.
Yeah.
Before going for the kill. Like this change, I would say speeds up the game a little bit. Yeah. It incentivizes you to lethal more often.
Yeah, that's a good thing, because like having to always I mean from a this is like more dipping into game design, but having to always consider, oh wow, I'm literally just going to get destroyed even though my opponent literally has 0 dice, then it makes it a little too much when you're just trying to play a little bit, even for fun or even for PvP. It's too much of a stress risk, Well, anyone have any other comments about 4.0? Otherwise, we'll jump over to the actual patch, the cool stuff.
Yeah, show us the goods.
All right, we'll show us the goods. Let's hop over. Here we go. Oh wow, blank presentation, amazing. All right. Anyway, here we go. This is 4.1. Thank God we're here. Well, actually, maybe not, but but we'll get to that. So, we have our 3 newest character cards, which are going to be much more interesting. I am on purpose going to start with Yao Yao because she has the least amount of mechanics. What do we think about Yao Yao?
Dendro.
Quicken Jazz Hands. Finally,
Let's
like
go.
a character that just instantly gives you a Dendro summon. Like Quicken is back, baby? Question mark.
Yeah. 1 turn faster than Tainari.
True.
1 turn faster than Kole too. Like, this is pretty huge because like now easy access to Dendro finally. Because like before you had to work so incredibly hard for your precious Dendro application, and like now they're just giving it to you.
Yeah, now you can just Yao Yao official.
Yeah, like there's no initial
guarantee
application.
quicken at in phase.
Yep.
Yeah, like you can guarantee quicken turn 1. Like there's no stopping it.
Yeah, that's so huge for quicken decks.
Yeah, I think that's the big thing. Yao Yao being able to enable a lot more Dendro teams with her summon is huge. But also the slightly added benefit of being able to heal and also her burst dealing coordinated Dendro damage is surprisingly more potent than you expect.
Yeah. Yao Yao's healing makes quicken actually slightly I'd say slightly harder to kill from other aggro decks.
Yeah, like it gives it a slight bit of sustain, which really messes with breakpoints in particular.
Yeah, in aggro versus aggro, this thing is pretty huge.
Yeah, I recall when she finally releases, someone said Yao Yao math is too hard.
Look, I mean, like any type of healing summon math messes people up real bad.
Yeah, it does, especially with this. But yeah, I think Yaya's goodage. I mean, we'll see how far she goes, right? But overall, I'm very happy with her existence in the game. Dendro healer is great, and also not being tied to Sumeru, thank God.
Yay.
But Liyue Resonance isn't exactly like super good.
Yeah.
I can agree with that. I think it's just nice to have more options, you know.
Like if it was like, say, what if we got Kirara instead? You know, Zuma Res is amazing, the new one.
Yeah, but Kirara doesn't have a Dendro summon, so
yeah. She just gets a shield.
I actually wonder. She's probably going to be like a brick. Not gonna lie in the game. We'll see when that happens. Let's move on to the next character, and I'm again avoiding this boy here. Daya. Oh my.
Oh dear me.
So in the main game, we all know how that goes, but in the we're not in the side game, that thing. We're in TCG, and how is she for everyone here?
I mean, looking at the kit, Day has like potential to be sauce, but like I just don't think we've cooked it yet.
I can agree with that.
It's like if we there's a lot going for her in the
sauce.
kit. There's quite a lot in the kit going on, because like she has her pyro summon, which like, you know, pyro summons are quite strong because pyro reactions all do at least +2 damage.
Yep.
Which is quite big. It makes it so like her summon effectively does 3 if you combo it with something else. Like she also has the damage reduction aspect, which could provide some sustain like in certain situations. There could be some niche situations where like you want your character to eat 1 less damage, and then Dea is like exactly at X HP, which is, and you can like feed her something, swap off, and now your character avoids lethal in aggro matchups, which is like, I don't know, there's potential there.
Yeah, I'm currently thinking of the interaction between Daya here with her piercing damage to self compared to Sangonomiya Shrine, where it heals 1 HP across the board.
Oh yeah, that's true.
Yeah, like I think it would make Sango Shrine much more enticing to use when your characters are high.
Yeah, like Daya spreads the damage quite well across the team. I think the one thing that goes against her is that her burst is 3 energy, which makes it kind of hard to get.
Well,
Wrong.
Actually,
Check
it's
again.
now
Too energy.
it's
Check
now
again.
4-2. It's now 4-2.
I have fixed it. It
It's
is indeed
fixed.
4 dice 2 energy.
It's you're not
Uh,
completely off the mark though. Incineration Drive is a little okay-ish, but when you start stacking it with buffs, then it starts to get very scary.
Mhm.
But also the fact that it's two separate pyro applications, which means
Yeah, like
in the perfect world you already have an element applied, you do it, you have a reaction, you apply pyro again, and then you try to do something else.
I mean, Dea doesn't apply that much
Imagine,
power
like-
herself though, so it should be fine.
Can you imagine Dea in like with Bennett or like a Claymore?
Yeah.
I
Like,
think
Wolf Gravestone
people
especially.
people were
Wait.
talking about Gravestone 2 taps.
Hear me out.
The first hit would deal 4, which brings it like down within 6, and then Gravestone deals +3, which like makes her do 4/6 and just 2 tap people.
But hear me out. They're low. You have Bennett. You have Gravestone. Right? They all
Oh.
have like Hydra or Cryo applied. You play Fresh Wind of Freedom.
Oh my.
Oh my god, sauce.
And you burst.
Sauce.
I'm cooking. I'm actually cooking. Holy.
That is
I mean,
true.
it's too much setup 90% of the time, but that's sauce.
Yeah.
I mean, it's definitely
I mean-
possible. It does work. I think something to know. Actually, when's the last time we had a Claymore character added to the game? Think about it.
Ooh, that's a good question. I don't think.
We haven't had one for the last Claymore character. I'm not mistaken, is Ito. So this is
I was thinking, is it not just Ito in 3.6?
Yeah,
Nope.
Ito was the last Claymore character added.
Dude, you're
Correct.
telling me in 3.7 they added 13 characters and none were a Claymore.
Yep.
Yep.
Weren't 3, 4, 5 polyarm characters in
Yeah.
3.7?
It's
I mean-
Polearm Impact, you know?
I mean, to
What
be
the
fair,
f-
on launch, the only Polearm character was Xiangling, so.
Yeah, true. They had to compensate, you know. But yeah, that's Dea. Her talent's cool, but I do want to move on from her. To the one that we're gonna probably have the most to say about because he's annoying. Here he comes.
It's
Oh
Goku!
my, oh my
80%
god,
innovation.
look at him. It's 33% usage rate.
33%? Ain't no way.
See, the only person who's standing above him is Shenhe because she has 50% pick rate.
Yeah,
because
no. The only difference in Shenhe and Wander is that Shenhe has 2 decks that are incredibly strong. Wander just has 1 deck that's super strong.
Yeah.
Well, I think Wanderer has 2 decks now, doesn't he?
Does he?
Well, I mean,
What's the
people
other
get
one?
to prove it properly in like.
I
tournaments,
have
so-
a deck that I'm cooking.
Oh no! What is
Whoa.
that?
I am gonna prove the fact that double Futui Wonder works wonders.
I agree.
Mm.
I 100% agree.
Okay, you're cooking, but I don't know if I like it.
Nobody likes my cooking.
Yeah, but let's kind of cover the the kind of the part that why like okay, because I love Scaramouche. I made him in the game, but this thing, don't you just love this mechanic? Why don't we talk about this mechanic and why it's annoying?
Oh my god, it's so stupid. So like, okay, picture this. It's 3.8. Shenhe just released with Zhao. You're playing Shenhe double Nemo. You can do funny 3 damage swirls and like 2 tap entire teams. One issue, it's really hard to get that initial cryo application. But like, hear me out. What if we have a character that can swirl off field and solve that problem? Wouldn't that be amazing? Oh my god, we should never add that because that'd be too. But oh wait, here he is.
Yeah,
Indeed.
there's a reason applying elements to off-field characters is one of the taboos in the Daydream Librarian Cafe Custom Card Club.
But that's literally how swirl works.
Yeah, but like applying to standby characters as a skill is like it's so much, man. Swirl
like,
itself is already
Nikita-
broken enough.
Nahita's skill applies a status to characters that are not
I
active
mean, but like,
and
it's
can
not.
damage them.
It's not an element, so it's
Not an
fine.
element. It's fine.
Yeah.
The
Do you know
issue
why
with
he's
this,
called?
though, the issue with this is that like one of the core techniques of the game, which is swap stalling, like it becomes so much more restrictive now because you have to swap to the leftmost character if you want to avoid Scar's like smack.
Yeah. It also
Like it's like
makes your
it
tournament
restricts your freedom so much. Because like not only do you have to worry about which character has elements, like you have to swap to the leftmost character now if you want to avoid him doing reactions. That's assuming they have no element in the first place.
Yeah.
Because if you don't, like heavy strike normal attack, 5 damage comes in to whop your character. But if you don't swap off, like if you don't want to stay on your active character, like he just swirls you anyways or smacks you with 8 damage burst and just nukes you, which is incredibly annoying.
It's funny when you said it's so much more restricted because that is some lore irony if I've ever seen one. But yeah, that is very true. And it also affects tournament deck building significantly because, you know, I would, you know, before I wouldn't really care. I line my stuff up, but you know, if I knew, unless I anticipate an overload matchup / animo matchup, but now I really have to play right side order because if I don't line myself up properly against Mr. Wanderer over here, I'm screwed.
Yeah, you have to like actually optimize your character order now,
Mhm.
which is like
we have so many offenses of people lining up the character incorrectly.
Mhm,
I
yeah.
mean, yeah, like before you would optimize for like Gene Sucrose overload, but now you have to worry about Wanderer too, which is like makes it so pained.
Yeah, like, and even with like Sucrose Gene and Overload, it's like, okay, we'll go right. This one, it's like, you better prepare to never touch this character again for like at least a round, and then you can go back and cry.
It's so pained.
And that was just a skill. Oh my goodness, why did they make this so strong?
It's so much damage.
That is actually chunk burst, but
It's
better.
literally just a chunk. I mean, like, yeah, it's literally just a chong burst with damage potential.
Burst.
Yeah.
And what's really annoying too is, unlike chong burst, you're always getting at least 2 stacks on him.
Yep.
Right? Because like with Chong, you're coming into skill maybe at the end to finish, so you need some type of energy battering, like be that a Raiden burst or like an Ito or like an Electro Res, Calc, Star Signs, whatever. But with Wanderer, you're going onto him as early as turn 1.
Yeah. Well, yeah, when Chongyun does endgame sweeps, he usually needs the I haven't lost yet, or just needs to make sure you can survive the oncoming onslaught. Wanderer is literally always going to have 2 energy, and then, you know, if someone likes to cheese Star Signs, then you cry.
Or Calcs, we've seen that
Yep.
before.
Yeah.
Funny enough, they actually lost the game, but we don't talk about
True.
that part.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wanderer is looking to be a really pivotal character in the current meta. We'll have to see how it develops to like.
I think like right now it's like only week 1, almost week 2. I would say Wanderer is meta defining, but currently only in Shenhe double and Emo decks. We'll have to wait and see if he finds his place in other ones.
Yeah.
Yeah, being in Shenhe 2 Nemo really restricts him.
Yeah.
I'm sure they'll find something.
Especially because Shen has such a wanted character in other decks as well.
I feel like people will opt to play Scaramona, which haha funny ship, but also because you get the guaranteed swirl. I think that's such a potent thing to have, where you just can't even dodge it.
Yeah, are we talking about Scaramona Eula? Oh, yeah, I've seen that deck around a little bit, but I'm not quite sure if it's like his strongest one yet.
Yeah, I don't think we have decisive proof of that thing yet.
Still early days.
Yeah, but specifically the team core of Scaramona though is one that I do get quite worried about, because you can do so. Nobody can deny your game plan. You get.
Oh yeah, no. After turn 1, it's guaranteed.
Yep.
Like it's literally guaranteed after turn 1.
Oh, yes.
And like if you run it with Eula in particular, like if you just set up double aura, like you're essentially guaranteed to get a team-wide freeze at some point.
Yeah.
At least team-wide swirl freeze.
Yeah, well, like you're freezing 1, and then getting a
freezing
swirl the
one,
other
but-
2.
But it's still pretty devastating.
This might be a bit of an early conversation, but do you guys feel like they're going to nerf him in future patches, and is he
No.
healthy for the meta? Let's answer the one at a time. Yeah, okay, number one, is he healthy for the meta right now, considering what the meta is, which is like SC, Bin, NEC, all the fun, definitely fun stuff.
I think he definitely kind of shakes up things a little bit. We might see a couple more decks that do well against Wanderer coming up to see the spotlight.
Which I think is a good thing that he shakes up things, since we have been basically for the 2 patches in the same meta in 3.8 and 4.0. So to finally have a character that can actually shake up the meta as Wanderer did, I think it's good.
Yeah.
I think it's good because it has finally come after a long time of waiting for things to change. But if it was like, I don't know, if they would ever do like mid-patches updates and then they drop this guy, it would be unhealthy at that point, because it's like, well, shit, the meta is changing too much. How are we gonna keep up? But this change is very welcome.
Yeah. I agree with that. I was looking back through some like stuff for other video games, and I'm like, it always feels good when, they either buff characters or in general just don't nerf things, because then players who like that stuff get to keep playing what they like. And I think and this is a mentality they also take with the main game when it comes to making new artifact sets. But I think it's kind of healthy for Wanderer because he does 2 things, right? Like you guys mentioned earlier, he steals resources in terms of fighting over your Shenhe plus possibly another character you want another deck, but also yeah, he does a lot of stuff that is gonna really make you think about doing team comps, especially with like big tournaments which make you bring 5 decks. So
yeah, funnily, aggro decks might do better on him because he's kind of like the army in the one-man army thingy.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, the thing is like the whole deck is dependent on Wanderer to be able to do most of its damage.
Not if you bring Sucrose.
Well, yes, but like Sucrose provides Sucrose provides disruption and a strong burst, but Sucrose isn't going to do all that damage by herself.
Yeah, I can see what you're getting at, but I think right now Wander is pretty healthy for the meta, I would say, mainly because he's shaking things up. He's introducing new decks which are quite strong, which we haven't really seen much innovation on ever since 3.8. But he's also on the precipice of being uber busted.
Yep.
I can see the situation where they release a new action card in 3.4 that just makes him pick ban turbo busted. And becomes super unhealthy. He's I would also say Wander's balanced by the fact that he's an Animo unit and that Swirl is a relatively weak reaction.
No, it's not weak. What are you talking about?
In terms of damage.
No, it's that's a double swirl.
That's
okay,
fighting words.
That is Shenhe's strength, not Swirl strength.
No, you get a double swirl that both react. That's so much damage.
Yeah, it's
but you have to run Rainbow for that. Fine,
Oh.
it's fine.
Yeah.
I mean, you can debate about Swirl. I mean, it's true that on paper, when you do the math, it's like, oh, I'm doing 1 extra damage a turn to chip. I might as well play Electro Charger SC. But the biggest thing, of course, as Swirl does it do, is that you get to spread the elements around, and that is very, very potent.
The strength of Swirl is the aura application, but if you're going for those double reactions, you also need another character which makes your team Rainbow and therefore a bit less flexible because you're missing out on Wovens, which add a lot of options for most decks. But I can also see where you're coming from because you can get Team Ride double freezes or double SCs, off-field vapes and stuff like that, which are quite strong.
Yeah,
but
and about the Woven argument, say that to the guy who win majors without slotting in Wovens.
Yep.
The funny thing is he added changing shifts. Oh my god. But yeah, no.
Still yet to see more cards that kind of support playing non rainbow deck or rainbow decks, but it is it's already with Scaramona plus random carry is already potent enough where you can start kind of getting worried about what might happen to this.
Yeah, like the strength of Swirl is its double aura application potential, but like its weakness is the fact that numbers-wise, without those double Swirl reactions, it's very lackluster in terms of damage.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
Unless you're running Shenhe.
this I can agree with.
Yeah. Yeah, but that is kind of, I think that's probably all we have to say about Mr. Wanderer Scaramouche. Who would have thought? comes in, tears up the meta, refuses to elaborate, leaves.
Yeah,
Or-
let's. Well,
Or
let's hope
doesn't
he
leave.
actually
You never
leaves.
Mhm. 4.1 new action cards. Now, I don't think these are crazy, but we still want to talk about them. So let's go to the first one, Moon Piercer.
Polearm King Squire.
Polearm King Squire, I agree.
Mm-hmm.
But I would argue weaker, despite being the exact same thing, because it's a polearm.
Mind elaborating?
Yeah, like the main thing about King Squire and Quicken in particular is that it really helped out with their breakpoints. With Collei and Aggravating Field, skill would do 5 on cast, which means you can effectively 2-tap most characters without any food. And like if you have Quicken, Aggravating Field plus a reaction, it would do 6, right? Which like if you smack them before with a reaction, it would also 2-tap them, which did wonders for their breakpoints. The thing about polearms though is that most of their characters don't really care about their skill, and so the breakpoint thing doesn't apply as much. If we look at the characters that are spears and actually like would use this weapon as opposed to something else, like we have Shenhe, which you kind of want to target burst and doesn't care about casting skill that much. And even if you did, it would change her skill with her icicles from 3 damage to 4 damage, which like doesn't do too much.
Mm-hmm.
And then you have going next, which is Candace, which would much rather use Vortex Vanquisher, right? VV instead. So that's like a non-factor. And then we have Xiangling, which summons Guoba to summon.
But doesn't do any damage on
no
these,
damage, so it doesn't
No
matter.
damage.
So that's like not up for discussion. There's Hu Tao, but like, I mean, her
Doesn't
skill,
do damage.
yeah, right. Her skill doesn't do damage. You can also, it's like a free skill in Hu Tao, kind of.
Yeah.
Yeah, and like her normal attacks now do 4, and with Blood Blossom it now does 5. But like, come on.
I think
Yeah,
that's the thing, is that despite like, you know, Moon Piercer, what the fuck? Moon Piercer should be playing to the advantage of, you know, people who like to skill spam and also play aggro as well. Weirdly enough, it just doesn't really fit into all the polearm characters that exist.
None
in
of the
game.
polearm characters currently want it. There's Sino. Sino is a good argument for this, actually.
But Sino's also
Sino is a good argument, but with the caveat that you need 4 stacks. Because like now its skill does 6 instead of 5, which is like it's more consistent 2 taps. But you need to wait for his 4 stacks.
Yeah, waiting for Sino is like
it's pain.
It's
never happening.
Yeah, it's never happening. I think
like if your argument is it's good if Sino has 4 stacks, like you're coping.
Yeah, true. Well, maybe one day. I think the character that can see the most potential with this is Zhao, because he gets a skill boost as well when he goes into burst mode. So
yeah, with burst and Moon Piercer, it does 5 on skill, which is like nice, I suppose. But if you look at what Dex Zhao is being played in, right, it's like generally Shenhe double and emo.
Yeah.
By the time you're bringing Zhao in, they're basically 1 tap for his burst anyways. And if you want that extra bonus, most Zhao decks run Tendoris, which would synergize better with cards like Sucrose. I forgot her name for a second. I don't know why.
Oh, yeah, and that's fair. I mean, we'll see in the future if they add who is a character in the main game who could be added as a polearm that would use this well, just based off of their main game kits.
Good question.
Good question. You don't know.
Who do we even have left? I think they did they add all the polearm characters on accident?
No, Rosario is
they
still
couldn't
not
have.
here.
Oh, you know what? Got you. This is Rosario.
Oh yeah, Rosario is not here.
I forgot.
I don't think Rosario probably has like a standard 3 damage skill though. so
I'd
probably
be
won't use
surprised
it.
with 3 damage because she needs to apply a team buff. But wait a minute.
Like just looking at our kit
Currently,
list.
Mhm.
currently we are missing 4 polyarm characters from the side game, and besides Rosaria, the other 3 are like Mika, Yayo, no, not Yayo, Toma
okay.
and Yunjin. And
Oh,
I
yeah.
don't know what to say about that, Chief.
Yeah, literally.
Yeah.
Since
It's like Rosaria.
Since Rosaria isn't like an aggro character, like in the main game, like she's a buffer, but like she's going to be playing aggressive and not some weird defensive team. Like she's like the only character who's probably gonna use this. Oh no.
But this,
Oh,
I like
yeah.
just based off how her kit works in the main game, I'm pretty sure it's just going to be a standard 3 damage skill.
Yeah.
It is probably, and then the burst is maybe like buff normal attack damage or something.
Yeah,
Yeah, that'd
I
be
think
funsy.
so.
Like
It's probably like
mini
buff level
Shenhe.
attack.
Mhm. Yeah, but that
Maybe
is-
closer to
Right.
Ayato.
Yeah, possibly.
Right.
That is enough of speculation for now. Let's move on to the next
Yeah.
card, which is very fun. Crown of Watatsumi.
The clam is here.
Yes, the clam.
It exists, I guess.
Mhm.
Hmm.
Like, I can't see a character that
Yeah.
would use this, honestly. Like,
No, surely it's meant for Kokomi.
Really.
oh, because everyone knows Kokomi is the meta staple.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Okay, there is a specific player that would love this.
Yes, and they actually did play it in the first week, so.
Do not disrespect the clam.
Mhm.
The clam.
I mean, like, the clam isn't bad for its dice value, but like, you need to heal first, and then you need a specific character to
You
come in
need
and attack.
You need a lot of heals.
No, what we're
yeah.
waiting for is the 3 cost. That's what we're waiting for.
True.
Oh, surely.
Yeah, it's
The 4 set.
It's actually very interesting the way they design the game like that, where they give us a, kind of like a light option. So what do you guys think like the 3-star version would do? I don't even, or sorry, not 3-star.
I don't know. Maybe if
4-star.
it worked,
5-star.
maybe if it worked off field, it would be sauce.
Oh, does it not work
Uh,
off field? Oh, that sucks.
No,
Well,
You
like,
mean
it's
the
only-
damage?
The way it currently works, I like based off how it's worded, is like it gains stacks whenever you heal, which I assume also includes food. But
Mm.
like you don't get the
Oh.
damage bonus unless
Wait.
the equipped person
Unless
attacks,
the equipped characters.
That's I don't
which
even
makes
know
it
that.
super
Man.
clunky.
Man, that's sad. Hopefully it does work off field then. That's the 5-star version, but I mean
I don't know. Maybe you should use it on Bennett.
Yeah,
it might be
let's
sauce.
go.
Hear me out.
Hear me out. True. I mean, he does actually get infinite uses of burst, which is not fair. But you know what? That's just how the cookie crumbles.
Yeah,
What if I
in-
present you
infin-
something better than this on Bennett?
Wait.
What about the infinite hash brown stack?
Yeah. I was just saying. Like, I just had an idea. What if you use this in 3 hash brown tech? So while you're swap stalling on Yoimiya, you chip them for 2 damage every single time. It's genius.
True.
It's so
Well,
smart.
It's more
Right.
like you're doing 3 hash browns on Yoimi and then you healing 2 each for like 6, and then suddenly you switch and do an A for like 3 damage plus 2 equals 5.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, but that's about all
Sudden-
for Crown of Watatsumi. Let's go through the other ones real quick so we can get to the actual meat and potatoes for these 2 action cards. This thing.
Disgusting.
Bleh.
This one's pretty niche. I suppose you could use it for like lots of free swaps at the end, but
Yeah,
But
pretty
yeah,
much.
no.
It's the free swap card, but at that rate, like we have so many options, like Covenant, changing shifts. What else do we have?
think-
Woven, if you feel like it.
This card could be good potentially if it comboed with Covenant, but it just doesn't.
Yeah,
'Cause
no,
it gives
I
you
thought
dice
about that.
before
I'm like,
Covenant
can you Covenant combo? It's like, you can't.
No, like it gives you the Omni before Covenant goes off, which like makes it so you can't pop Covenant, which just makes this card bad.
Yeah, I mean, the devs knew. They're like, oh, hell no. Could you imagine if this thing enabled Covenant?
I mean, this is fun around a bait too, right?
Mm-hmm.
I suppose, yeah. But like, I don't. Most of the time when you're playing Bannerana, you very rarely end on 0 for this
Mhm.
thing to proc.
Well, if I'm reading this correctly, before they patched the thing with the Yae Covenant gamblers thingy,
Yeah.
this would have actually enabled.
Yeah,
Covenant,
it would have,
which
but
is which
Dude,
is
that
why
would've
they
been
patched it.
gross. Yai gets a 4 to 5 dice turn.
Yeah.
after ending, that's gross. All right. Anyway, yeah, that's kind of reveal. It's niche, but you know. Oh man, don't you love doing spending 72 hours in the in side game?
honestly,
Creation. You forgot the exclamation mark.
Oh, okay. Hold on.
I actually have an
I got you,
exclamation mark.
Hold up. Yeah.
I don't have the card yet, but does it actually?
Yeah.
Does it actually have an exclamation mark?
Yes.
Yes.
Oh my god.
Yeah. So this one, unfortunately, is locked behind the Fontaine Archon quest. Or well, technically,
Actually,
not
no.
really. But,
It's locked behind unfinished comedy and like 4
Yeah.
other world quests
yeah. But it is.
And-
yeah. It's
and several daily visits.
Yup. Yeah. It's hard to obtain. But what do you guys think of this card? Do you see any usage of this, or is it just haha? That's funny.
Well,
I
it's
can... Oh, you go first.
it's a more competitive chunk the ninth. You pay 0 dice to draw 2 cards at the end of the turn, and it does not take up a support slot, which can also be sauce or other types of things. But the thingy about this is that you have to play slower.
Yup. And I think if I'm not mistaken, you can actually deny people from fan creation if you play a certain way.
I mean, yeah, you can swap.
You
yoink
could
their card.
you could swap 8 times.
Yeah.
No, yeah, like freaking.
I mean,
If you feel that's worth it, I guess.
I think this card is sauce in stall decks. Like I can see potential use cases in bin and in DP because those ones like to swap stall a lot. They like to drag rounds out.
Yeah.
So in those decks, like there's an argument to go replace your Strategizer, your Sealy, or your Wharf with this.
Yeah. Cool. I think it's a cool thing. I just wish it was more accessible, and I actually would want to use it for some decks. But overall, you know, since its inaccessibility makes it very difficult to play with. I think with the Rhythm of the Great Dream, it was less of an issue because that's a much more niche card. But this one, you could actually be applying to
You could actually run it, yeah.
Yeah. But I mean, at least I enjoy Fontaine, so you know what? At least I have that.
Yeah, now
Do you know what I don't enjoy though?
What?
Our next card.
Oh man. Wait, you don't enjoy this card, or do you mean this one?
The next card.
This one's the next card.
Not this. Ah, man.
We
The
have to do this
next
first.
card.
I know. Well, we'll get there. Don't worry. Anyway, before we get to the demon spawn, actually wait, I mean, what do you guys want to do? Because I put it last in order to review this one, but do you guys want to do this first and then go to character buffs and end it with
Okay, we don't have much to say about Yaoi. It's like Artifact Master Zhang. It's okay.
Artifact
maybe.
Zhang, you would
It's
never
okay, maybe,
use
yeah.
this 90% of it.
It's also it's very draw stringent. If you don't have enough draw, then you cry.
Like this card is good on the second deployment of an artifact, but like at that point you might as well just run Courtyard.
Yeah, true.
Sounds decent though.
Yeah, that's pretty cool. All right, I will leave the floor to you four because I'm sure we have some very, very heated opinions about this one.
Oh my god, look at this. A totally unique and original card we have never seen before. Oh my god, I'm so excited. Whoa.
Kojo, could you like switch between these and the last slide, please? Just switch between them. I would like to see something. Fuck. Anyway, basically, the originality of this card is that instead of being Wind and Freedom, it's Wind of Freedom. Also, it's fresh, right? We since it's fresh, it's gotta be new.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's how you know it's original.
It must be. It's so fresh.
And then we look at the card effect, which is just Wind and Freedom, but infinite and without the dice cost. But then
not infinite. No, it's like usage is 1.
well, in this turn you can do it as many times as possible. Technically, like.
I mean, it's effectively 1 because, like, let's be fair, you don't have enough ramp to do it twice.
Wait,
Clueless.
seriously?
And if you do it, it doesn't matter because, like, you're out of
Dude.
point.
No. The wiki says it's usage 1.
The wiki is wrong? Question mark. Hold on.
Did the wiki just copy paste the wind and freedom effect? Because that said
Oh
usage
no,
1
no,
before.
it is usage.
Yeah, it is usage 1.
It is usage as 1. The wiki is correct.
Are we referring to this? Are we referring to the new one or referring to the old one?
The
We
new one.
refer
The new
to
one.
fresh
In the game,
wind of
it says this effect only will work once.
I mean, it can only happen once anyway, but
So, Kojo,
Right.
I was asking for a little favor earlier.
Yeah.
Can you like switch between this slide and the last slide of
Yeah,
the?
sure. I can do that.
Just like switch between them.
Yeah, let me just.
Yeah.
We already finished the video. Doesn't matter. All right. So, boom, boom.
Yeah, just switch between them repeatedly. Let's see what's so
I'll do
different.
it in intervals. Go for it. Keep talking about these fun cards.
Yeah, no, we'll just pair these two together because holy cow. What the fuck?
Oh.
So, if they would have done this with every Arcane Legend card up until now, just because they are based off regions so far, if they would have done the same thing where it's like a similar effect to what the region resonance card does, I would have cried. Because one, that would kill some cards. Leeway 1. 2, that's very unoriginal. 3, this is fucking busted.
Honestly, though, like the original Mondres, it kind of deserved to be changed to an arcane card if we look at how strong it was.
Yeah.
It was basically omnipotent in every deck that could use it. So it definitely deserved to be an arcane effect, and like now in decks like Cleave Ape, like it has to choose between Fresh Wind or Covenant, which like makes it a lot more strategic, and like, and also in Pyrokek as well.
Yeah, I think the loss for a lot of the Mon decks that could make use of it kind of sucks, but now that it's universal, I mean, so much more things can come about as a result of this. Does anyone have the statistics? How many people actually ran this in SC? Because that's what everyone was scared of when they first released the news on this. But I don't know actually how many people actually ran it.
I'm not gonna lie, there weren't that many SCs.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, to be fair, it's week 1. Everyone wants to cook, but have you? I mean, in your own experience, have you guys been seeing people run this in SC?
I have not seen this card ever.
I have seen this card in all of my 5 games in the first weekly. Used by both me and the opponent.
Nice.
I have not even bought the card from the card shop yet.
But like,
Ain't no way.
I think the difference between this and Covenant though is that like both allow you to continue your combo,
Yeah.
but just in different ways.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and like as someone has said, you play full with the Daya Burst.
Yeah.
Dude.
Oh my
Dude.
god.
Dude, I am actually cooking. I'm after this. I'm actually gonna go cook that deck.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I think that subverts the limitations of the prepare skill by a lot.
Yeah.
Because
Yeah, like
now
I just realized you can cheese prepare skills with
Yeah.
specifically Diaz with this.
Completely.
and now you can just do a 1-2.
Mm-hmm. It's quite
personal
funny.
fact.
It's gonna be sauce.
Yeah.
All right. Jokes aside, this card, I think it's besides the fact that it has the same effect as the old Wind and Freedom, I think it's a good addition to game because there's a lot of decks that do not utilize the other Arcane Legend cards as well.
Yeah.
So this just gives them another option. Unfortunately, also the meta decks can abuse this, so there's that.
Yep.
Yep, now
I
everything
wish for the next Arcane Legends card to be something more niche that work in a specific subset of decks that can help them become better and competitive instead of buffing the already existing meta decks.
Yeah.
Courtyard, I thunk.
Yeah, something similar to Courtyard. Anything that kind of makes certain engine combos work out. That'd be fun.
That reminds me, we now have Arcane Legends of all the 4 nations now. So, do you think they'll go for like Arcane Legend for Fontaine next?
I mean, I hope so.
No.
Eventually, like when Fontaine characters get released, right? Surely.
Yeah.
I'd love
I just
even
hope
that
they don't
happens.
stop. I hope they don't stop with the Arcane Legends.
Yeah, printing these because at the end of the day, even though we're oh my god, this card is busted, there still is the existence of deck stringency, and with now that even if you're a meta deck, now you have to start cutting cards, cutting or a card, right? And that can kind of mess with you, especially if you're a very sticky deck like Shenhe SC kind of needs all the stuff it can get, so it doesn't immediately get pummeled. So it is a little bit of it does kind of mess with how much you can fit inside your deck. But since we're here, just for this card, and then we're gonna go back. What do we think of the rework?
I think
I don't think it's very
I think
good.
I've mentioned this on stream before, but Kaya unload tech.
See, he gets it. It's cool. Yeah.
It is a change.
Yep.
It is certainly a change.
I'm just saying, right? But hear me out. Kuching, Prepare Skill, Rush Kaya Burst, Wind and Freedom, plus Crane, plus Stiletto, instant 10 damage.
He knows my sauce. He literally just hacked my sauce.
So it is definitely worse than before because no shit. It was busted before. But I think it's a good change, as in I think it fits the flavor of the card and Mondstadt in a way.
Yeah.
Well, Venti, right, with the switching and stuff. Now, where you apply this besides the Kaya situation, or I'm not even sure where you want to apply this. Do you just go for the memes and do this plus Crane plus Kazuha skill and just go back to Kazuha and plunge immediately?
I don't know. Maybe Yao Yao can use it.
Actually, if you do Cream plus this, it would go to the character to the right of Kazuha. Funnily enough.
Oh no!
It wouldn't even do anything.
Yeah, it's funny. It's funny like that. In the situations of the other angle is instead of Kaya, you just use it for plunging attack characters, but otherwise it's hard because this has really no partners. And that makes it really tough. Like I love my Kaya Mondrez deck, but that being it really sucks.
But yeah, it's also the fact that this card is region locked, which makes it even more restricting Crane.
Yeah. My hope is that they buff it to 0 dice, because the fact that it's 1 dice makes it worse than changing shifts.
But then it uber power creeps Crane.
I mean, that's fine.
Just buff Crane as well.
Because it's a regional resonance.
Just buff Crane as well.
True.
I think the thing is though, I think we've mentioned this with Crane quite a lot earlier, but back in 3.5 when it was the freeze meta with Xingqiu, Crane was being used as a tech option to dodge freeze on your carry.
Yeah.
And if freeze ever becomes the dominant archetype, or even a semi-popular one, there is an argument to include this card so you can dodge it.
Yeah. And I mean, I think I would like them to play into that strength. Yes, Sigma?
Yeah, actually, I would like to see how Wind and Freedom interacts with the Wanderer too.
I think Wind and Freedom has been changed from an omnipresent uber busted card to a niche one. It has its use in certain situations.
Yeah.
But the situations right now are just very uncommon, so it won't see use. But if it ever pops up, we can expect to see a tick in usage rates.
I think just my hope for the future is that they either reduce it to 0 dice or they add characters that will be able to make use of it, because if there isn't, then this card is literally like unironically went from S to F tier. Which is very sad. But
Relegated to meme status.
yeah, relegated to meme status. But that is that stuff. Let's go back to the other stuff that we have, and this is pretty big. Lots of character buffs. Let's get started.
Now, you see there are 2 Futui people right there that got buffed. Just saying, Futui Wonder.
True.
I think, in particular, Jocelyn is very happy.
Yes, we'll get to that. I will let Rept take the wheel for the starter on this one because it's his favorite. So, the biggest buff of the patch. Oh my!
Is this the biggest buff I've seen since patch notes? Like, the most changes for a character specifically?
Yeah, actually, it is.
Which,
yes.
yeah, understandable, since I do think he wasn't very good, to say the least, about my boy.
Yeah.
But we finally have good changes. Infinite Riptide. That's beautiful. That's clickbait worthy, which we did. Talent card changed from 4 to 3 dice. Again, love it. But now you do piercing only to the active character. I don't think it's the end of the world, but it is a
Harder
change
to play.
Yeah.
I think I actually like the burst change the most, the additional damage on range stance. Now I feel like I have an additional reason to just like do range stance more often.
Yeah.
Because until I get to the 3 energy with him, I feel like I will do quite a few attacks with him. If I play the talent card, which I am, I'm gonna do end of turn damage anyways. They're not gonna be that high on HP. They have fight, and that's just 6 damage right there with the burst, and 7 damage if you have talent card and Chad's still alive.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's basically just like his melee stance burst. So yeah, I think I like it. Good changes.
Yep.
I think this is my opportunity to chime in with the sauce TM.
Ooh, what is the sauce?
Hear me out. Child Riding Emblem Energy Cycle.
Well.
That is my sauce.
Well.
Let's move on. Oh.
But
we might have to discuss that after stream.
Unfortunately,
we might have to discuss that after stream.
Unfortunately, we woo, but
no, it's still sauce.
It's still sauce.
It's still sauce. Look. Here's what happens, right? You equip Emblem on Child. You turbo ride and burst. You swap to Child. You equip Emblem on Child. You burst with Child. Riding gets energy, and then you swap to your 10 HP. It's genius.
Yeah. See, the 10 HP is Barbara, so you can heal yourself.
Meet me in class after the stream.
True. What's it called? Yeah, no. There was of course the called the Child Burst Loop deck that came out right away at 3.7 because it's just super fun to play. But it wasn't able to poke its way into the meta. But with all these changes, I think Tartaglia can really make an impression. Mostly this thing is the biggest deal. Being able to apply Riptide with skill and also being infinite is such a huge deal.
I agreed. Like, he's now able to actually pressure people for once.
The pressure is quite substantial too. So.
The pressure is substantial. If you have NSC in hand, there's a good chance you kill the enemy character in the first turn, and you also deal piercing damage to another, just with him and nothing else.
Yeah, like, one of the big issues Child had before was that you had 2 turns tops to capitalize off of your Riptide.
Yeah, before you got
like, now this just gives you, which was like the entire point of his kit. So you needed to stay on him for like such a prolonged period of time.
Yeah.
But now it gives him flexibility for it. He's able to apply Riptide at his leisure and come back.
Yeah. Oh, all right. Anyone else have anything to say about Tartaglia? We're gonna jump to the other characters.
I have so many things to say, but I must shut up because otherwise this will turn into a 2-hour podcast.
We'll just call it Rep's lore stream because it's tiled in the Archon quest.
I have so many things to say, but yeah, let's just go next.
Yeah, let's go next. The other Hydro carry, intended to be a Hydro carry, but I actually, because I didn't get to read too closely, but I actually like these buffs a lot. What do you guys think?
I actually quite like the buffs to Ayato, because like he's a rather underutilized character, so giving him a little bit extra stuff is always nice.
Yeah.
I mean,
yes. So you going from 3 to 2 and Kanka going from 2 to 3 actually synergizes together.
Yeah.
Because now you can E, Xing, Q, and then Xing Xing for
I think
complete
biggest-
usage.
the biggest change for me is that his skill has 3 usage now.
Yeah.
And now Ayato's main deck, which is Kaya long range, is able to like apply more freezes a lot easier. Because like before, the main gimmick of the deck was like you set up Ayato skill, you get Kaya icicles, and then like if there's a character that you really don't like to have on field, plunging strike, Ayato infuse normal, Giga freeze on.
Wait, that's kind of sauce. Let me try that.
You can also kind of say that Kaya long range gets more damage from this since you get the burst earlier.
Yeah.
Yeah, that too.
And I feel like this is just a good change for Ayato, and what decks he previously had just got buffed, I feel like.
Yep.
Unlike the
Yeah.
Razor change, that's like the Razor change, it was always the discussion, oh, is it a buff, is it a nerf? Yeah, it was a nerf for specific decks and then a buff for others. But this
Yeah.
one just feels like a buff to his existing decks and maybe an opportunity for new decks to arise with Ayato.
Yeah, for sure. And like now there's also some sauce where I can see where you go Ayato official EC. You go, you kind of like rush an Ayato burst, like Shinta SC or Ganyu SC of old, my favorite deck. Rest in peace. Please come back.
Yeah.
I'm begging. Anyways, you get the double summon up to chip with SC, and then Ayato now just has 4 damage normal attacks, and like, ooh.
Yeah, it's
Like,
pretty.
pew,
It's
pew.
pretty scary.
There's some sauce
I really
going on
do
with
hope
them.
people are able to utilize his normal attack boost because that's like in both the side game and the TCG is that weird quirk in his kit that you kind of forget exists. But it can
It was
be
a little too hard to access before with 3 energy, but like now,
Mhm.
maybe.
Yeah, it's very accessible. Moving on to another buff I'm very pleased with. Cryo Sitchin Mage.
Oh yeah, here we go. Cryo-official real.
Cryo Official Real. I mean, you're not
Cryo-official real.
wrong.
Like, I think this buff changes one of the major issues Sisson Mage had before, was that like her Sissons lasted for negative turns.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was pretty bad.
But like now with only the reduced usage, like only when Sisson specifically takes reactions, you can get the Sissons to last so much longer.
Yeah. And she still gets shafted by Wanderer.
Yep.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
But like at least Sisson can guarantee like 2 smacks of Cryo Summon.
Wait, I
Which
didn't
is
even
nice.
consider that. Wow, she literally gets shafted by Wander. That's an L.
She still gets shafted by Swirl decks, but like at least she gets shafted less hard by everything else.
Yeah, exactly.
Yep, indeed.
I'm very sad that Fatawi will never come back. But Cryo Sitchin Mage was always one that stood out to me because, we really it's gonna take a long time until we get more Fatui, and Fatui Resonance is one of the most fun cards in the game in my opinion. But having her being able to be a lot more viable is pretty good. But although I mean like, what are people cooking with this deck? I know Rept over here has something.
I mean, Fatui Wonder, the whole premise is like I try to do freezes, whatever, swirls, EP. But if I can get somewhat lucky on the Fatui Resonance, then Wanderer is cooking. That's really just what I'm trying to go for it, besides coping that I can make child work in such a shit deck.
True.
I also saw a variation of Birdie's Fatawi deck where they replaced Pyro Agent with Child.
Yeah.
Like with using Sisson Mage Summon with Raiden Summon to do SCs, and like you get a Raiden burst, and now Child is suddenly able to threaten your entire team.
Yeah, it's actually like it's like because Birdie was actually playing that immediately at the start of 3.7. It's kind of like the two paths people took with Fatui, either playing with Raiden or playing it with Hu Tao. Raiden is always the interesting one because Fatui and the way their kits work are inherently very selfish. You know, well, except for this one, except for her. But you know, their bursts are quite potent, and especially since you're able to charge that up with Raiden, can do a lot. You know, as well as the off-field summons.
Mm-hmm.
That is it for Cryo Situation. The next two are pretty quick, but they're still very nice. Oh boy.
Oh boy.
Jocelyn is very happy with this one.
DP
The Russian
players
community.
rejoice.
The whole Russian community is very happy about this. They stand DP.
Mhm.
Really? I don't know much
Yes.
about the Russian community. Like they suddenly popped up and they're apparently quite big, but I haven't really heard much
Well,
from
they
them.
have always been big. It's just that
Yeah.
there's a language barrier. So
Yeah,
language
like,
barrier,
the first
different
time
group
popping.
chats, you know.
But yeah, no,
Yeah.
Jocelyn is quite happy about this change.
Yeah, all DP players, Jocelyn, Jocelyn, Liel, everyone who's playing DP right now.
Yeah.
Jocelyn,
I mean, like-
Jocelyn, and Jocelyn.
No,
wow.
no, there are more
No,
than there
no,
are more
no.
than just
I'm
one
joking.
No,
DP
there's
players.
other
I think
players.
I think if we look at it specifically like as a Diona buff, like yeah, no, this is deserved because Diona has a rather low pick rate, so
Yeah.
it makes perfect sense to buff the talent. But DP is already a really strong deck. I wouldn't say tier 0, but like at least tier 1. It's like a really strong deck with some unorthodox lines, but like the fact that now Diona just gets free value off talent. Oh boy.
Ooh,
I think the
Likely.
biggest thing is that if you're a DP player, like you, especially if you're just a stall player, you have a lot of knowledge about the game and are really able to hold out. And I mean, when you're going into tournaments, you know, because it's not like you're always gonna face you're not gonna face the top player always, right? It really does help you like just kind of knock people out when they don't know what to do against stall. They just kind of like, what do I do here? They keep healing. they just, why won't you die?
nano machines, son.
But yeah, no, like it's that one extra dice that you save on an initial equip is actually so huge.
Yeah, and that's
Like
great.
it lets you
It makes
swap
the
stall
line
more.
so much better for
Yeah,
Diona.
like it like it gives you more dice to swap stall, more dice to eat food. Like makes you so much more flexible.
In general, I mean, this is a funny conversation that I'll save it for later because I want to make sure we finish up here. But you know, talents becoming the same cost as your skill can be, you know, really is a really significant change, more than you realize, because now it's not a net loss when you play your talent. It's a positive thing because you're wasting nothing.
Mm-hmm.
But anyway, last one, and I think I like. Why did they do this? You didn't need to do that. why
look,
would you do this?
Maybe
Break points.
come on, 1 damage on Xingqiu. Ain't no
This
way.
is
Break points.
such a useless buff. And you know what? I'll take it.
Okay, no, hear me out. This is huge for Xingqiu. This makes Xingqiu a top meta threat.
I'm
once-
getting off the
hear-
stream.
Hear me out, right? Okay, hear me out. The base damage of most characters' skill is 3 damage, right? That puts characters on 7 HP, assuming no shields or healing. Xingqiu, on a Vaporize, with Adeptus, with Burst, now does 7 damage.
So
Hear me out.
Alright.
what you're
Burst
saying
scope.
is it combos very well with DP. I
It
can't
is a
believe
DP
it's another
buff.
DP buff.
It's a DP buff. Everything's a DP buff.
Oh my. They're called. Yeah, it's. I mean, yeah, we can keep commenting on it. It's the change that really nobody asked for, and I mean, like, it's cool, I guess. You know, nothing really substantial is gonna come out of it except for Xingqiu hurts you slightly more. So.
I mean, I'm just saying, Xingqiu technically has a 2 energy Chong Burst.
I'm just saying, you know, you need to stack cryo res and then a death, but you know, it's pretty good.
All you need is a +2 damage source and an Adeptus. Not that much of an ass.
Moving on, I'm actually surprised to say that these, not you, are more impactful than everybody. We're not even going to talk about these. I don't even care. Those do nothing. NRE, our favorite instant meal prep. No?
I mean, sure, make it cheaper, I guess. I mean, no one's using it still.
Or, well, I mean, maybe I should combo it with this. Maybe that'll be a little more incentivizing.
I mean,
food engine's been gone since a long while now.
yeah. Food
Like
engine
3
is like
3 point
don't
launch.
I don't think NRE2 one's making much of a difference.
Really?
yeah, like it's just because the thing is, you play NRE and like you get your food, which is like that's cool, right? You just spent 2 dice to spend more dice to heal your character, and at that point, instead of playing NRE, what if you just ran a cathedral or something?
Mm-hmm.
It costs the same and it heals your characters too, but you spend less dice for it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
Right? So it's like
location kit is very much
like
more fleshed out than the food package right now.
NRE only draws you food, but like if you're playing NRE to get food, what if you just ran more food?
True. Wait, but then you get Chef Mal value if you run more food.
But like Chef Mao, most decks only run like maybe 5 sources of food, right? You
Yeah.
play Chef Mao and like
Yeah,
you're already playing half your food by
Mhm.
the time he activates for the first time.
Mhm.
So
I remember the recipe being like, yeah, just grab any deck and then put in 2 lotus, 2 mushroom pieces, and 2 hash browns.
Mhm. I'm actually surprised to see this sentiment because a lot of people did try out the food engine in the first weekly, and also people are always talking about it in TCG discussions. But I don't know. I think it's interesting. But I can definitely see why it's like, okay, well that's cute. Let me go run. Let me go run Cathedral now.
right, like food engine is so close to being good, but like it's just never quite there.
I think what if they added like a card where it's like unsatiate, where you can where you can remove the satiation status from characters.
No, that would
like-
be
No,
broken.
no.
I
You
think
know what
that's
we-
great.
You
It's
know what we call that?
broken.
It's called
Imagine-
Lithic Razor. They call it the Hu Tao 4 Lotus tech
Mhm.
in that one deck.
I don't even what canonically could you even put in that? It's like it's not like rotten food. Like I don't know. They'll figure something out. I'll leave that to the dev. That's not my problem. But
Yeah.
anyway, the last
Let
piece of
let
food.
daydreams be daydreams.
Yeah, last piece of food on the menu, and now this one's funny. Oh boy.
Oh boy. I expected to have 0% usage just like before,
Yep.
but like at least
But-
if you're trolling slightly less.
It's
Honestly,
good to
yeah,
have uses.
it's becoming kind of more sauce now since it's down to just the average 2 dice food.
Yeah.
It still faces the same problem as before, which is it revives with only 1 HP. So, especially now with the swirl meta, even if it revives at 2 HP, Wanderer
it's
is gonna be
gone.
like, yeah, no.
No,
I think-
look. Here's the sauce. Here's the sauce. So you have one character, and your next character is dead, and you want to protect your previous character. So now you revive the next character. So the Wanderer will hit the 1 HP dude instead.
Genius.
Okay, you know what? That's kind of sauce, but
That's
at the
so
same
sauce.
time,
But like hear
you
me
wasted
out.
2
What if-
dice for that.
Hear me out. What if I just played a Lotus and saved a dice?
True.
Real.
Yeah. It's,
Yeah.
I don't know. I'm surprised they would buff Egg, but at the same time, it also has it does effectively nothing. So
Egg is so bad. Maybe if they make it 1 cost, we'll actually see some use.
I think that's definitely not the play. 1 cost is too much.
Yeah,
think-
1 cost is definitely way too much.
I think if they make it so that it is what do you call it? You can it heals for more than 1 HP, then it's better. Even like 2 is fine. Like because at least you can
Yeah.
avoid 1 super
No, but
impact.
then that's too much value then, because they'd have to raise it back to 3 dice.
I mean, they wouldn't be the first time.
I
with
mean,
this guy, so
Yeah, sure.
Maybe.
moving on to our final ones because well, I'm not covering this. Nobody cares.
Please.
Literally,
I care. Child is in the card there.
Yeah, well, you know what?
Yeah,
He's
like-
useless. Just kidding.
Oh.
Oh, them fighting
Oh.
words.
I'm about
man.
to lament.
Okay. Oh, you think you could lament against me? Okay, boy. All right. Anyway, doing
Right,
your Zod. This one's pretty cool.
Yeah. But like
Yeah.
most companion supports cost either 1 dice or 0 dice.
Yep. Yeah, that is
Yep.
the weird part.
Or their
And-
Paimon. Or their
or their
Paimon.
Paimon. And like the ones that don't cost 1 or 0 dice are Paimon and Wagner, and you don't play Wagner.
Paimon, Wagner, Timaeus, Sudong,
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, you don't play those ones.
Yeah.
Iron Tong Tien.
The most realistic like card that like you would want to get value out of this is like Rana, but even then that feels like a dice sack. So
And
Yeah.
like the fact that it only reduces the cost by 1 instead of like a Tubby effect where like it's free is just, I understand why it's not Tubby, because imagine playing Paimon for -1 dice. That's
that'd
just,
be based. I don't know what you're
No.
talking about. You want
Like,
to see people end turn with double Paimon? That's epic.
but like the fact that it only reduces your dice cost by 1,
Mm-hmm.
and like you
No.
need to play at least 2 to get value, which is just like cringe.
Yeah.
And then
Like,
you just have Dunyazard filling up your slots.
so I personally I do like the additional effect added here where they
Yes.
let you draw a random companion support card.
Mm-hmm.
That's the entire point of the changes. They added the tutor.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Like I really like that part because now even if you play 0 cost companions,
Mm-hmm.
she gets the on play 0 you just draw another companion which
Mm-hmm.
could be a 3 cost or
I
a
think-
1 cost that
I
you
think I
can
talked- Yeah, I think I talked a little bit about this on stream, but like with this effect now, you technically have 4 Liu Sus in a deck. There are like a few niche uses where if a deck really, really wants to get their burst out, you could
Mhm.
play double Dunyazar, double Liu Su, and like just effectively have 4 Liu Sus, and like you have more options and more chances to get your burst out.
I think if you want your energy that much, you would run Tien.
Yeah, Iron plus Liu is a potential thing you can do with this.
Hmm.
Wait,
But yeah, no,
because you can stack TNs, right? So you play Covenant and then you
No.
play 2 TNs. Oh,
No, it says end phase, lowest energy.
Ah, damn, that's unfortunate. That'd be funny though.
Is it? I thought it was left to right. I mean, is it not? Is it
No,
specific
It's,
to
uh,
lowest energy?
Lowest, yeah.
It's
It's
probably
active.
lowest
It's
then left.
active and then lowest. So. Yeah, but that's that. I think I don't know. I'd love to see the companion engine rise up, but it still needs as the name implies, it needs some friends, which it doesn't have any. So.
Hmm.
Yeah, currently there's just not enough good companion supports to use Dunyazard with.
Mm-hmm, yeah.
Okay, but can we actually talk about Master of
Yes, we
Weaponry?
can. I'm joking. I bully this card because it's very silly, but we will actually talk about it. So the change is that the number of times that the effect of the corresponding weapon or artifact can be triggered per turn is reset. So I WGS once, or well, actually that's not a good example. I use up all my gambler's
not-
usages, and now I can refresh it. I'm pretty sure.
Also, not an example.
I'm bad at the game.
Lucky Dog Silver Circlet is once per round, and if
Mhm.
you transfer them via Blessings effect,
Mhm.
now you can activate this effect again.
Yeah.
I think the only effect where it matters for us, a Master of Weaponry, are like the sack weapons and the Skyward weapons. So not
Yeah.
very useful.
Can you
overall.
trigger Sumeru weapons?
No, because those are
no.
when played.
That's crazy.
Those are when played.
Oh man.
Another idea I have is Amos Bow, Master of
Oh
Weaponry.
no.
Because what Amos Bow is once per round, and if you
Mm.
play like Ganyu Ember or something,
Oh, okay.
But why
that makes
would you
sense.
ever do that?
Yeah.
That's a better question.
It'd
don't know,
be
there-
a bit
there
of
must-
a tight squeeze.
there must be some Amos deck that plays 2 bows, right?
Mm, when they release Yelen Clueless.
Yeah, maybe.
Yo, wait, no, because charged attacks and normal attacks, Yelen plus Ganyu, Amos swap. That's some bullshit. I
No,
think
that might be sauce.
that might be sauce in the year 2024. But yeah, I don't know. I mean, I dunk on these cards. It's okay. I just they need to be able to have a spot, and also the fact that it doesn't activate Sumeru weapons. That's kind of sad.
Yeah, so many weapons are in play, so you're forced to use Unseen Razor instead.
Yeah, that's unfortunate because this would actually go so well with Sumeru weapons, but well. Anyway, moving on to the final change for this podcast, and then we're gonna close it out here. Emblem of Severed Fate has been changed because they realized maybe we made it too strong.
Well, actually, a little correction.
Mm-hmm.
The effect that got once per turn is not their energy generation. It's the damage boost.
Oh, the damage boost. No, isn't the energy also checked?
Wait, let me check the patch notes. I'm actually gonna check because I remember seeing that.
I am in game right now, and I have screenshotted it.
Spaghettios.
Yes, it is in fact only the bonus burst damage that is once per turn.
Oh, so it is still sauce.
It is still sauce, but
it is still sauce.
The only way that was made like that is because now it doesn't work with Deya.
Oh, I see. Okay, that actually makes a lot more sense. Now that I put it in perspective, I thought it was the energy change, but yeah, sorry about that, guys. So the damage boost +2 is now reduced.
Because otherwise you just play Ornate Kabuto, which isn't once per turn still.
Yeah. But that, I don't know, that's a change. I mean, do you guys see anything from this besides it? Well, they changed it so you can't use prepare bursts on it to absolutely be BS.
Yeah,
also, both Unseen Razor and Divine Relics installation resets the once per round still, so it doesn't really matter that much.
Yeah, okay. Well, yeah, that is kind of it for the patches, because we already covered this earlier. Evil incarnate, but
yeah, emblem is literally only there for the double burst that Deya does, and so I don't think there's much that we can talk about it because it's literally just for Deya.
Yep. Yeah, but I mean, yeah. Do we have any kind of closing thoughts on 4.1? What do you guys think? What do you guys think of the patch?
I mean, it's for sure spicing up the meta because like Wander adds a lot new options for deck building, and then Yaya I expect to revitalize the Quicken Dex list.
Yeah.
I mean, I see like Deya being used in EC decks to create DEC.
Yep.
Yeah, I mean, I can see it. I think what I would love to see though is someone bring Kaya Unload Tech to a weekly. Like, please,
I will
if
do
someone's
it.
watching
I just need
this,
a free. Well, actually, I might have a free.
If someone is watching this and is in our server, discord.gg/GITCG, please join a weekly and do Kaya Unload Tech.
Okay,
and
you know
so
what, Sumi? Do you want me to do Kaya Unload Tech this weekend? I can do it because I'm playing
so
that tech.
down.
You want me to do it? Okay.
I would love Kaya Unload
That'll
Tech.
That'll be my break from editing this weekend.
It is like it's my baby. I love it so much.
Dude, it's base. We gotta spar with that. What about here? Because I guess we'll go down to any closing thoughts for the 4.1 patch, Sigma.
Well, I'm awaiting Deya. I think she has a lot of potential that requires a lot of specific plays that might not be obvious at first glance, but when I look at her kit, I feel like she's the type to probably get things done that isn't immediately obvious. Maybe she's in like someone's secret sauce right about now and they don't want to reveal it.
Yeah. Well, I can agree with that. Wrapped, any closing thoughts for 4.1?
Good patch notes, finally.
Yep.
Besides the fact that no nerfs to characters that deserve it, besides that, I think these patch notes were on point. New character cards are basically good to meta. The new action cards are, I think all of them are at least usable in some retrospect. And the changes overall were good. So yeah, good patch notes, finally.
I can agree with that. I think the biggest thing is that, last patch, since I think last patch was a little polarizing because of the meta truly setting in that patch, but also as well as the fact that the new character cards just weren't, you know, they had a lot of problems. But this time, like, these characters have all three of these characters have a very defined place that they can do stuff in, you know. And there's plenty of more, you know, cooking to be had done with these decks, and that makes me very happy, especially for characters like Dea from main game who get ragged on, and then Scar, which is my favorite, and then yeah, there's a healer, so yippee. And then oh boy, I love this. We all love this card. Yup, true.
Yep.
I love.
No question about it.
What's it called? What was the joke I made? It was
I love this totally original card.
yeah.
Very innovative.
Mm-hmm. What's it called? It's you ended your turn. You think you're safe? No, you're not. But yeah, that is going to do it for the 4.1 Meta Roundup podcast. Thank you all for joining us tonight, and I've been your host, Kojo Creations. And if you'd like to join us over at GITCG, where we will be actually, you know, playing all this stuff and testing all these things out and seeing what we can do with the funny card game, you're free to join us over there. And tournaments are the tournament announcement is actually already up, so that'll be happening this weekend. Be there or be square. Do I have the schedule? I probably don't. I don't have it on my hands right now, but this weekend, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. And yeah, that's kind of all I have to say. Let's just go, you know, bye-bye.
Bye-bye, everyone. Have a nice
Bye.
night.
Bye. See you guys.